Hey everyone, it's Jason. This is a little bit different video. So in this, we're going to look at some component upgrades I've bought. These are all bought through the Board Game Geek store. I have no affiliation with them. This is not sponsored by them. I'm not being promoted. I have no contact with them. I have nothing to do with the product or how it's made, future updates, any of that stuff. Just as a collector of games and someone who likes to have great materials, I bought some upgrade pieces they have, which are really cool. So what I did for this is, we're going to start off with dice throwing. We have Season 1 bag set, the bit set. We have a Season 2 bit set, and then they have a third pack, which is actually from 1 and 2. It's the couple of the big companion sets. So what these are upgraded tokens. So let's, I'm going to start popping these open. We'll take a look at this. I haven't even actually really looked into these too much. But yeah, you can go to their website, Board Game Geek. Do I have? So they are made permission from the actual game, because using the actual artwork. Now there are some games, places that'll have tokens that'll get released, like better like hard tokens versus cardboard little chitlets. They have like close artwork or similar designs or just upgrade. These are actually like designed to look like the actual tokens in the game, which is really cool. So anytime I have an upgrade, like especially on the Kickstarters, and they're like, here's some extra upgraded tokens, I almost always buy them. Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can not do that with my camera. I need to get this to show. So yeah, there's all these little badges here, for each set of the different tokens. Now it's each different type, so they're not separated by character, but they're separated by just different type. So we can do this. We take our barbarian here, pop him out, and we can either just obviously look at the tokens, or you can always look at a sheet. And we need 2 concussion and 1 stun token. So the concussion tokens look like these little guys. Little lightning bolt to the skull. And we have 2 of them right here. So I'm hoping they gave me the correct emote for everything. It says it's supposed to be. Let's see if I can get this badgie open. Now again, they only have stuff for seasons 1 and 2 right now. I don't know if they will release more. I think these just came out like recently this year. So here's one of the chips. I'm gonna slide this. So yeah, there's your differences. So they're kind of shiny. They're still double-sided. They're about the same thickness, so it's not like they're necessarily gonna have any more of a necessary game presence. Sometimes you get the little plastic tokens. They have better game presence, like easier to pick up. They're not any thicker in that sense, but cardboard tends to like, tear on maybe the picture tears of that. Plus, it's a little bit nicer. They're a little plastic. That's me like forcing out. They're actually very hard. They're gonna take up the exact same amount of space. They're the same circumference and everything. So they're gonna take up the same space in each box. So I'll probably do is not necessarily toss these. I'll probably just keep them in the same component. But we definitely have that. Then the next one we needed was the stun token. Now there are 2 stun tokens. That means somebody else will get one. So let me open up this and we'll throw that one in there. They're all very nice pictures. Very nice done. So great job to whoever actually designed these and printed them and all that. I may end up just pausing this to open all these because these Ziploc baggies are becoming a pain. So 1 second. Alright, so I've cut them all open. Alright, so then we have our concussion token there, or our stun token. Again, these are all very beautifully designed. So we'll just drop that one in there. Which also is nice. So like, here's the pearlized dice. They have kind of like that pearlized effect in there. And then so these kind of are marbleized, maybe pearl, maybe might be the correct term, marbleize. But yeah, since the tokens looked like that too, they kind of match the dice a little bit. So definitely a cool upgrade feature. Works even cooler when you have like your tray and all that stuff, because they all fit right in there. So yeah, like the question is whether they're gonna come out with more stuff. Now, like I said, I think these just recently came out. So, yeah, I don't know for, like, I don't have the answer. Again, I don't work for the company or anything, so I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. But I would imagine if they make more of these, they have 3 different sets to make. They have the adventure set, which I would imagine would probably be the next one to make, because most of the tokens from Season 1 and 2 are already produced. They already have them. As you can see, they have them just sorted into the baggies. They probably just count, okay, I need 2 for Season 1, 2 for Season 2, because some of these are in Season 1 and Season 2. So they probably they already have the things made. So they just have to then count out different amounts for the adventure set. Then they need to make new ones for the new tokens, such as like Perilous and Chaos tokens and stuff like that, and then some of the bigger specialty ones like the Hex token and things like that. The question there would depend is, do they make them beyond just these types of tokens, or do they go through and start making like the double-sided ones for like the points tokens, which are also little circles, or the treasure tokens, like the loot tokens and stuff? Like, how far beyond do they go to what they decide to make extra ones for? I mean, they could just do like the status tokens, and then maybe like a special extra set for like the plus and minus for power, and like the loot tokens and stuff, maybe as a separate one, so if you don't want both. Who knows? Alright, we're gonna look at the Moon Elf here. We need to find some different tokens there. We have 2 blind tokens, which are right here. Yeah, these pictures are great on these. So there's our blind tokens. We have 2 barbed or entangled tokens, which are way up here. And they're all very good artwork, very marbleized. Now, there's a couple of them where, because they get this marbleized thing, the pictures are a little bit distorted. Not distorted, but maybe like hidden a little bit, but it's still not bad. I like that all the colors match the colors of the actual tokens, or at least very close approximation. So here's our targeted tokens. We have 3 of those, and then finally we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 evasive tokens. Now there's a ton of the evasive up here, so you have a couple different guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna grab the 5th one. And so there are those guys. It shows them like evading. Yeah, so they could make the adventure set. I think that'd probably be the next one. The second set idea would be as if they're going to do one for Santa versus Krampus. Now again, that would definitely make sense. Make a little mini expansion release for that, because this also ties in with that. That just might be whether it's beneficial for them to design 4 more types of tokens, and I think each character had like 6 of each, so that's 12, 24 tokens. So if they want to have another 24 token pack, just for those guys, so that's kind of whether they want to do that or not. We have our Pyromancer. Whether they decide they want to do that or not, because it's like, did they sell enough copies of that particular game or since it's at retail, has it been selling well enough for this other company to decide to add extra production to their carts? I mean, maybe like a limited one or two time release or something, like make like one batch. So one thing I think we're gonna run into an issue with this, just to show us off. So like, there's not a lot of extra room in here. So I feel like for the Pyromancer, I'm gonna have to either drop the tokens in here or do something different. I don't think I'm gonna have enough room for both, so I'll just drop those guys in there for now. But we need our 9 Fire Mastery tokens. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all 9 of those. And those are gonna look very nice there. A little flame within the flame. So then the third type of token set they would have to decide if they're gonna make is obviously for Marvel. That one is gonna get a little bit trickier because although they can get the licensing from Roxley to do their stuff, they can't. It's whether they still have all of the rights to like remake more stuff for Marvel or not. And I went through and I did a comparison because I thought was like, you know, for all the games, for Adventure and for Marvel, I was like, I wonder if you could. There's our other stun token. As I said, I wonder if you could buy this set 1 and set 2 a second time to like basically utilize it for the majority of the tokens. And the thing is, for Adventure, no you can't. Because there's something where like, something like evasive or knockdown or flight, or knockback or flight, they have enough tokens like between sets 1 and 2 that would cover it. But then there's some that's like in total, like Season 1, Season 2 only have 3 tokens. And then the Adventure set has 4. So you end up having to buy a second full set of one of those to get essentially what you need is 1 token. And then you wouldn't have all the new stuff anyhow. So it just doesn't seem like it would be worth it. And then Marvel, on the other hand, not a single token crosses over. They have all brand new tokens. So here's our Shadow tokens. Nice deep purple. I love that. Then we have our sneak attacks. The little guy with the dagger. And then finally we have our 7 poison tokens. The little skull in the poison pot. Yeah, so Marvel has all brand new tokens. Like, they didn't cross over any of them. So they'd have to make a full brand new set. Now, for the most part, there shouldn't be any, like, conflicting things for why they couldn't make those. Because there's nothing, like, lots of them are, like, energy or, like, hex blasts or things like that. With the 2 exceptions would be, obviously, Mjolnir as a special token. Whether or not they'd be allowed to make that. But even if they make all the other little tiny tiles, you just had to keep the wooden, special designed, one for that. That's not that big of a deal. We have some 4 cleanse tokens. I never really almost looked at the designs of any of these until right now. It's kind of neat looking designs on these. Yeah, it's like the Mjolnir one, and then the other one that might be hesitant would be Black Panther. It's a bigger, like, unique token for Vibranium. That might be the only other one. Here's his knockback token. He's got 2 of those. We have 5 evasives, so we're going to get the other 5 evasives here. And Monk is going to be similar to the Pyromancer. He has so many tokens. You have all these chi tokens. You have 11 of them that he's going to have to go into the thing. Now, ooh, is this actually even going to fit? Oh yeah, look at this. He has so many tokens that in there because there's a little bit extra thickness that they don't quite all fit in there. But that's not that big of a deal because they're gonna upgrade the game. I think to make it look better. Now, yeah. So that's the thing. I don't know if they'll make Marvel or not. And it's hard to say. It would be cool if they did, just so that everything in the game could be mixed and matched. But the thing is, they haven't made. They have the 3D miniatures for the base game. They never made any for for the Marvel set either. All right, so we have our Paladin who's going to get. Oh, I'm supposed to have 3 crit tokens, and I only have 2. So unless I dropped one somewhere underneath the rest of my stuff, which I'll just have to keep an eye out for. Hopefully I'm not missing one. Like maybe it got knocked off the table or something, I wasn't paying attention. We have our... Oh yeah, look at this. It's just got 3 retribution tokens, and I only have 2 retribution tokens as well. So I'm short 1 of each of those. 3 accuracy. And I only got 2 accuracy, so it shorted me 1 on each of the Paladin's tokens. Let me look at my actual physical tokens to see if that is correct. Yes, I have 3 of those. I have 3 of the crits, and I have 3 of the retributions. So I should have 2 protects, which I do have. So I might have to message them and say, hey, they messed up and they shorted me on 2 of them. So I'm going to do 3 accuracies, 3. I'm going to set 3 of those aside in the other area, and just so I can just send a message out to say I missed it. I hate to be bothersome about it, but it kind of ruins the whole point of having them, right? You're supposed to be able to have that many. Now they do have stack limits of 1 each, so you might not need to have all 3, but it is kind of just a point there. Now this is the first unique token that we have in the game. It's the Divine Blessing. So you did get a bigger one of that. Now this is one of the ones where kind of like, it does kind of blend in a little bit, but it's not terrible. Alright, yeah, we'll have to mention that. So I think that's why you double check your stuff, folks. You don't just buy and be done. Alright, now we have our ninja. And then we have, we're supposed to have 5 ninjutsu and 2 smoke bombs. We have the 2 smoke bombs. Smoke bombs are actually pretty cool looking. Or do they go... Sorry, they go this direction. There we go. Smoke bombs. I love the delayed poison as well. We have 3 of those. So I have the little poison symbol. Then I have the little timer mark on there. That's definitely cool. Again, the pictures are really neat. And then we finally have our... So I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4... No, I have all 5. I have all 5 shadow tokens. Alright, so then we have 1 character left. Who will be our treant. So, this treant have 2 barbs and 2 well springs. Yes. So we have our... Now, these ones did kind of get a little, because of that, that pearl, you can't really see the blood on there as well. But I think this just might be because of how they landed. It's more like dark red on the one side. If I would have had more of the lighter color. And I think kind of the same thing with this. With the wellspring. They kind of blend in a little bit. But it's not that bad. Then so the last thing we're missing is you have to order in a separate pack are the companion sets. Now they release these separate, I think, just because they're a little bit differently designed. So let's pop that open. Whoops. And we got our Ziploc baggie on this one too. Alright, so yeah, we're going to get our 3 different seedlings. You know, so like we compare that to our regular seedling tokens. Again, they're the same size and everything. You know, a little bit thicker though on these guys, so a decent amount thicker. But then we'll also get our 2 saplings, which are all double-sided, but they printed off very nice. But I think just because they have more artwork on these, they just released them as a separate pack. So these guys are then ones you have to decide. So if you buy these, do you want to spend the extra additional amount to get the printed versions of those companions? Alright, so that was Season 1. Then we have our bots for Season 2, our Artificer. So I think what I'll do for Season 2 here is I'll just dump out the tokens here, show you guys the tokens quick, and I'll load them up in my bins separately. But yeah, you have the basic, and then you can flip it over and you have the advanced on one side for the Artificer. So I'm going to pause and we're going to dump these out quick. Alright then, so here's all of Season 2. I'm not going to spend time going through putting them all in the thing on the camera. I'll do that on my own off to the side, just so this video doesn't become super long, because we do have more content of upgraded stuff I'd like to look through for some other games. But we'll just take a quick look at all the tokens. We have the powder tag here. It's really neat. We have some more evasive tokens. We get a couple more of those. I haven't remembered all these. Definitely, this is a bleed token, I believe. Wither, if I remember right. I'm trying to remember all these just based on the pictures. The flight tokens, which look really cool. Parlay. Our tactician tokens. Is this honor tokens, I believe. Which would be followed up by the shame tokens. Now, these ones kind of got like a, yeah, like I got like one here, it's almost no extra thing, and then some that has some. So you can see how they get a little bit different in there. I don't remember what this one is, but we have this guy. Of course, we have the reload for our gunslinger. Don't remember what all these are off the top of my head, but they're definitely all neat looking, nice artwork that sticks out. We got our energy tokens for our Artificer, bounty tokens. Like I said, some of these, like all these tokens are represented, or almost all of them are represented in the adventure game, but to, but again, if you were going to just like, hey, I'll just replace all these and just not worry about them extra couple, because most of the ones that aren't reprinted then are specifically for like the bad guy characters, like the chaos tokens and stuff. Like those are the ones they use. And then they good, because again, they already have these made, so they could just reprint them. You'd have to buy like 2 sets of at least one of these, and I don't know if it's worth it, because there's nothing to really do with the extra tokens. And that's the whole thing, is I would say sometimes I'd be like, nah, who cares, you have extra tokens sitting around. Except for this game, since each character has a specific limit, you don't want to have more than what their limit is. So you got that 2 more of the Blessing of Divinity tokens, and then we got 2 more like this. So now they could have put these guys in with the companion packs, like these guys as well, but they didn't. Oh, we had 1 more here. We have 2 more we didn't look at. We didn't look at the shield. And then finally we have the big gold doubloons for our Cursed Pirate. But yeah, so they could have, and these guys actually don't have that decent big size that you're supposed to. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing, is they could, you could buy these, but like, if it's a game like, I have other games where it's like, oh, I have like heart, like, or like health, or like energy tokens or whatever, it's like, there's an infinite pool. A good example is gonna be for me would be Marvel United. I'm buying extra token packs for those because I like their tokens. I have a ton of extra health tokens, or if I have a bunch of extra energy or minion tokens, it's not a big deal because of the fact is they're an infinite pool, so I'm just drawing for them. So having extra just means there's no chance I'm ever going to run out if for some weird reason I did, or like if I like the health tokens, if I create like some sort of scenario I have extra characters out, or I play an extra special mode where I need extra minions or this, I'm not worried about running out. Like, same that I'm gonna get extra Doom bots, like tokens, cool. I can always make an extra mode or maybe create my own scenario where I can have extra thing. This game though, like you have 3 parlay tokens. You're never gonna want more than 3 because if you have an infinite supply, I don't even want to say I think you would abuse it. I just don't think you would ever use enough of them because most of them have a stack limit of what you can put on there. So like, let's look at our gunslinger here, right? We have 4 reload tokens and we have a stack limit of 2. So the most I can stack on someone, I can stack on someone is 2. So right now I have 4, so I mean I could put 2 on one player, 2 on another player. And it's a positive status effect, so I don't remember how it says I can put them on there. But the thing is, am I ever going to need, in a 4-player game, basically means I could put, I could put 2 on one player, 2 on another player. Okay, so I don't have enough. If I technically had like 4 or 5, I could do that many. But then like evasive, we have a stack limit of 3. This is a passive stack, I put it on someone. I get 5 of them. I can put out 3 at a time. Like, yes, having more means I could, I guess, technically abuse that and put out a lot more. But am I ever going to get to the point where I'm ever going to put out more than that? And that's just the question there, isn't it? Alright, so that's what we have for Dice Throne. This is really cool. I do hope they release stuff, again, for at least, at bare minimum, adventure, just that way if I want to play that full mode, I have all the tokens for that. Also, I'd love the Krampus one. If they don't get around to Marvel, I would understand, although that would be cool just so they all were the same thing, but I can understand licensing issues with that just because, again, even though none of the pictures have specific like Marvel logos or names on them, except for the very few like the Vibranium, Mjolnir and stuff, some of the bigger odd-shaped ones, other than that, they don't really have any. And even there, you could probably get away with the Vibranium one, because it's just, they're not posting the name or anything, it's just a picture. It's not a picture of Black Panther, I think it's just like some claws. And the hammer, you could maybe argue, because although it looks like it's Thor's hammer, it's a hammer. I don't know if you can copyright that specific hammer, because it's not like it has the quote or anything on the side. Alright, so I am going to pause this part of the video. I'm going to set up for the next cool components we have. See you guys in a second. Alright, our next upgraded component from the Board Game Geek site was for Smash Up. We have some extra cool tokens for victory points. Now this is one thing though, if you're like me, you've bought every set, and you have the big giant geekier box here, which is completely full, you have more than enough tokens to know what to do with. But again, I love the extra tactile feel of these. They're just thicker tokens, a little bit more durable. So these would probably be like my go-to tokens. I don't think you're probably ever going to need more than one set. This could definitely be something I could see maybe buying a second set of. Now they're just the standard blue and yellow. Like, now if you get some of the other token sets, they'll have different pictures. So like, if you get the bigger geekier box set, you get this little fancy tray to hold all your stuff. But as you can see, like, each set if I can dig some of these out, you'll have different pictures on them, like this one for the ones that has music symbols. We have this one here that has some flowers on it. Like even the bigger stuff have some different pictures as well. So that's just, of course, then the one I grabbed just happens to be a generic one. Like they only have like a 5 with like a laser on it. So those are kind of cool that they have a little bit different designs to kind of theme with the sets. But yeah, you don't have to have those necessarily. Like the Cthulhu ones are kind of neat because they're green instead. Or they even had like the pretty set which had like pink ones. Yes, it's kind of neat if you want a little bit different theme. The Munchkin ones had money on them. But it's not a necessity at all to have those. So here's how they kind of fit, like, size-wise. You can see, like, roundness, they're the exact same circumference, but you can see there's definitely a thickness difference. A little bit easier to pick up then, not have to worry about the wear and tear of everything. So that's comparing one of those. And then if I compare one of the one size, it's going to be the same thing. They just kind of shrunk the sticker size on there. It's not actually a sticker, it's actually printed on there. So it's not like a sticker, it's going to peel off. They're the same size value, just a little bit smaller number. But again, you can easily tell because they're blue and yellow. Very, very easy to tell. Question there is, how will they fit in this box? They won't. Because of how much thicker they're. So I even have half of those. So they're not going to fit in there. Like, if you only have like 2 or 3 or a couple of sets, you don't have every set, you can probably spread these over 2 or 3 different things and they'll all fit. But if you're like me and you have everything, they're not going to work. And that's not even including, this is every set up through the 10th anniversary. There is still the brand new 80s set coming out. That's not even all the tokens, because I also have this container here full of them, which are from, I believe, I want to say either the Disney or Marvel set. I don't remember. I think it's the Disney set. But they had 5s on one side, but then they had pluses on the back side. As part of the reason why I kept these separate was because as of up to this point, these probably would have been my go-to now because of the plus numbers. We have like 1s with plus 1s on the back. Because there's some things that have power counters that give additionals. But now what I can easily do is just keep these aside for just the purple side. And then do that. Now, would it be awesome if they made some purple ones for these? Definitely. I would love that. So if we had some extra purple ones. But again, they're not used in every single set. So then that, you know, kind of like in the last section talking about the dice thrones, is it viable for a company to release extra little components for something that's not used all the time? The same thing here, I have some extra little tokens for some of the other modes from the 10th anniversary. You have the nice coin here, first player token, upgraded token. But yeah, would it make sense to make little tokens for these as well? Would it be awesome? Yeah, sure. I'd love to have extra little tokens. Even if like something like this was just like this symbol like inside there, like just like that, it still kept the same thing, maybe not the same size, maybe not the arrow, but even like a little token like that. That'd be cool as well. But yeah, that's the sort of thing you're gonna end up getting with that. That's all I really have for Smash Up. Not too much there. Really nice and quick. Just some nice tokens. Again, they're not going to all fit in there. I'll probably just end up keeping them in one of these containers like this. And dig them all in. But I'd love to see those purple ones. The plus counters. Just because there are enough cards in here that add pluses and minuses, and all you're supposed to do is then just take these and put them on there. But I like the idea of having a plus instead of just adding a counter. Although, that being said, is if they don't release the pluses anytime soon, I might end up buying a second set of these. Because I could have one for my tokens, and then I guess it's your decision. Do I want to keep using the pluses there, or do I just want to keep using these tokens to add as power counters on my cards? If you have like a I know, like, try to think like one of the factions that does it. I know the monster set does it a lot, like Frankenstein and stuff. Put this on there, gives them a +1 effect, or the werewolves get +1 if you do something. Having just a little symbol that says +1 is kind of nice, but it's not very hard math to just figure out if you have a 1 counter. But then maybe that's even the kind of the nice thing is those are purple versus these are blue and red. Then you don't get them mixed up with victory points. Alright, that's it for Smash Up. I'm going to pause for a second here, and then we'll hop over to the last game of this set. Alright, so our last component upgrade from the Board Game Geek website is for Small World. So what these are trays for all of your characters' tokens. Now, you buy them as individuals from the website. There's little black trays like this. And then they have a little clear lid that snaps on. Now, you can, obviously, it's like I got these in a pack, because what you do is there's, according to their site, and I guess I didn't actually 100% verify it, these are made by Game Trays as well. Like they're through the Board Game Geek website. Might be able to get them through Game Trays, I'm not sure. But yeah, so you buy them individually through the Board Game Geek website, and every one you buy, you'll get a slight discount if you buy more. They're listed as there being 52 different total races throughout all the Smallville. This is the Small World. This is the base game, and Underground, which are the 2 big box sets, as well as all of the miniature expansion, which has like Power Pack 1 and Power Pack 2, which have the majority of the main ones, and I think Sky World has a couple as well. I think that has like 3 or 4 in there, and I think that's most of them. This does not include the additional ones that would be in the Small World of Warcraft. I don't believe that's counted as that 52. So if you also own that set, you'll have to buy more of these. So I bought enough for the 52 for all the base stuff, even though I don't own all the main games just yet. But when I get them, I'll have them ready to go. I'll probably have to go. I didn't even bother to think about the Small World of Warcraft at the time, so I'll probably have to buy a couple more from there as well. Then the other thing you can buy as well this is a separate purchase from that, is stickers for them. It's 1 pack of stickers for all the different sets, so you actually see all the different things. So it's going to list your races, plus what set you're from. And the idea is you stick them into the trays, then that way, if you dump out all the tokens, you know like what characters go to what trays. Just maybe a little helpful there. Not that it really makes a difference. All the trays are both the same. Also, it tells you what set you're from. So if you have questions on, I forgot what the rule and how this guy's played, you can, okay, these guys are from this. So rather than having, 8 different box sets, all separating you. So we have, of course, base set. We have Underground. Then you have Power Pack 1 and 2. So now, I do like that they kind of did this. They did, either you can separate these out by Power Pack 1 or 2, or you can separate them out by the actual small expansions. So Great Games, Royal Bonus, or Cursed. So that's actually a really neat idea, because then you can decide how you want to list them. So if you bought them each separately and you have a separate instruction book for each, you can list them as each of these 3, or you can just put them as the full Power Pack, and then know that you have to look on each Power Pack for that. And they do the same thing with Power Pack 1 and 2 for Being Not Afraid, and then the other one was Sky Islands, which added, 7 more. So yeah, I'll have to decide myself which way I want to go with these, is if I want to put them in as their particular sets, or if I want to list them as Power Pack 1 and 2. The upside about Power Pack 1 and 2 would just be because all the rules are on one sheet together. See if I grab that out. Yeah, so like when I have my races, they're just all together on one sheet, or if I want to actually list them as being part of the individual expansion set, just knowing that the thing is, I'm gonna have all my books together anyhow, so I might list them by those particular sets. Alright, so those are all the different stickers. Again, these are not necessary. You can buy just the trays if you want. Pick up the number you have for how many you have. So how do they work? Let's actually take a look. See if I can angle my camera down a bit. So I put the Amazons in here. So if I pop this open, I have my racing here for the Amazon. It fits in there nicely. It's going to be snug. It's not going to like fall out or anything. I have all my tokens in there. They pop out fairly easily. And then yeah, I have the base set listed in there. So I have the little symbol sign listed. Now there are a few races or races they'll have like extra tokens. I know that some of the expansions characters do. I was trying to see like which one specifically did. I thought maybe the races don't have any. I know the powers have some. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so you have the extra little tray there just in case you need it. I'm not really sure what these edge pieces are for. I mean, I guess you could always line a couple of your guys, stand them up ahead of time and have them ready to go to grab quicker. It's always a possibility as well. I think partly just it might have been designed just in case for something else. So the other thing you're supposed to be able to do with this, if you want, so you can do is after you take your tokens out, you can set your character up on top of your tray with your thing. Now, it's not going to stay on there 100%. They can slide off. But it gives you a nice little thing. It's not my fortified Amazons. You know, all in one little thing. I have them right there. Oh, if I need to put all my tokens away, they go into decline. I can just pop this up, put them in there. Put my extra ones in there I need. And I can always just flip my character, to the other direction. And then just flip my tray around. So you can kind of keep all your stuff sort of together without having to keep going back and forth. Ideally, or you can always leave that in there and then just set the other thing on top as well. Because it doesn't block that view there. So that's kind of nice. Now, just also point this out. The skeletons who have the most troops, now you can see he's kind of sitting up over the top. Now, if I pop the tray on there, it's going to stay on there. Like, it's not going to fall out. It pushes down just enough. But I could alternatively also just... I think I have like 2 extra tokens in there. Probably more than I needed. To make that sit in there flat. And you could always just drop them in like that. So I can see it's skeletons here without having to read it. It's the base. That's just more for the extra ones. Again, if you don't get that, you don't get that. So some of the ones will actually always drop your few extra tokens there. So I think these are really cool. I think they're going to be really nice to have them all just like, you want to play as, you're starting off, you're grabbing 6 races. Just grab 6 races out from random, however you grab them. And then you can go ahead and you have all your tokens, everything together, instead of having a pile for these, a pile for those. That being said, the one downside I kind of don't like about these, nothing against these trays are awesome, is that this is, I'm going to zoom my camera back out, this is how the base game is set up. You have a spot for your races, spot for your classes, all your different tokens, and then you had a tray here for all your little race tokens. Now, I love the fact that this came out, so that way you could just go ahead and pop that out, and you could put all your other stuff in there. And the same thing with the expansions are very similar, is they have their own little separate trays with the tokens, all little things like that. A little spots for some of your money, so you can grab your money out easy. But now, if I add all these extra trays, they're not going to fit in here. And it's not like I can say, oh, I'll just pop this out and just lay all these trays in here, because they didn't create a custom tray for the rest of these. And so that's that's my only downside to this entire thing, is that I wish they would, if they're gonna make these, I wish they'd have made a second extra tray for something for like the money, then had something for these guys to stick in, and then maybe one extra one for these guys. Just because in that way you could have all these little extra trays ready to go. But they didn't do that. So one thing I will probably try is I wonder if I can just put all my money in these trays. Maybe I'll try it in the smaller ones instead. Or even this would be kind of nice because this pops out by itself as well. But yeah, like to see how well I can fit that, or fit all of these in like one or two of these. Then maybe have like one of these has just see if I can fit some of the extra components in these spots. And that way I can use these little tiny trays that can come out versus that big box. Maybe I can consolidate that. So I'll take a quick look and see what I can kind of do with that. I'll take a look and see what I can do with that. And if I find a decent solution after all this, I'll maybe do a follow-up video with all that. I don't want to keep putting it in here just because it's going to take some this, that, and I might need to do some different extra storage and all that. But yeah, those are the little trays. They're definitely neat to have. And were there 52 races? That's what I'm now curious about. As long as we have this here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, 6, 37, 37, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. Yes, there are 52. Again, that's not including the small world of Warcraft, which, if there's the same number as there was in the base set, there was, 12, 13, 14 in the base set, and 12, 13, 14, 15 in the underground set. So if you're somewhere between 12 and 15, you might have to order another 12 to 15. I'd have to double check. But yeah, so there we go. Yeah, so these trays are really cool. I think they're really going to be really helpful for the game because, again, you're usually only playing 6 at a time. Just grab 6 of these trays. You have all your tokens there. Then when, again, you can just line them up as, this is my bank. Oh, someone's like, I'm going to skip the Amazon. You can put a coin on there. Then, I decided to take the Amazon. You just pick up that entire tray and you're good to go. Again, you can throw all your quick abilities right on top there just to start out with. So it's like, we got our Dragon Master, our wealthy Amazons, and our Dragon Master skeletons. Someone can drop a coin on there to purchase them. Skip over them, then you can just pick up that one and go. That'd be, again, the only thing is I wish there was maybe an additional storage solution that matched the rest of these tokens. Just in that way you could, so they could fit in the box. Because you could realistically leave all that stuff in the box. But then the question is what to do with all the expansion stuff that came out. Because now if I have these guys, plus I have Underground, plus I have the base game, plus I have, the 5 small expansions between Power Pack 1 and 2, and then Riverworld, Skylands, and I think there's 3 other little ones, like Realms and some other ones. You're going to need a different storage solution for all the extra tokens and stuff. Alright, so then the last thing I just want to show off that I also got on Board Game Geek, that is not an upgrade necessarily, but is an extra component, is for King of Tokyo. And they have more of these, and I've done some of these in the King of Tokyo unboxing videos, but you can get additional new monsters. So we got Largus, who's made up of 3 different little monsters. There's a blue one, a red one, and a purple one. And it comes with a little standy, little extra stand there as well. So it's actually from Elios. It's not like these are custom made or something. These are actually official ones. It's just fun. If If you just have the base game for King of Tokyo, they have a bunch of other ones on their website you can get as well. So if you're already ordering the only King of Tokyo, you want to pick up some extra ones. The only downside to these characters are they don't have the power-up evolution cards. So if you are playing with those additional rules for that, or for they'll work for King of New York as well, or the King of Monster Island. As long as you're playing with where you just have the monster and then you're rolling the dice, they'll all mix and match. So it's just extra characters to play as, which is always fun to have. But again, if you want them power-up abilities, they don't have any. There are some people that make fan-made versions. I was going to try and print some off and show them, but the problem is I could only find, this is through the Board Game Geek website. You can look up all their games and all that stuff. And I looked into people that are creating fan ones. They only created for 2 or 3 characters each, and then each one were styled differently. Like some of them tried to make them look like the other cards. Some tried to make them a little bit simpler, a little bit different because they're worried about getting copyrighted. And then the thing is, I didn't review any of the abilities to know if they're any good or actually any good or not. So it's I don't want to show off that stuff as hey, this is though. If someone if they'd made a set for every single character, I probably would have deal done. But when there's only 5 or 6 characters out of the 12 or 13 total that are available, I was I'll wait and take a look at it later. Alright, that's what we got for that. So yeah, this is some cool upgrades you can get for Small World board game. They have stuff on Board Game Geek for a lot of other games as well. The little bits and stuff for games like Wingspan and I want to say maybe Carcassonne, ton of other different games. So definitely check out if you're looking at expanding your games. They have tokens, they have miniatures, they have bags, they have trays, all that fun stuff, plus a ton of promo cards. If there's games that you're playing, there might be promo cards. I buy some here and there. I've had some for Dixit. A lot of different stuff I bought through them. So definitely check that out. Again, not sponsored by them, not endorsed by them, have no affiliation with them, nothing to do with their company. I just enjoy